One's ready. One's ready. Go!
Hey everybody, welcome back to the One's Ready podcast. You're in the team room. This is your daily ops brief for the 15th of April, brought to you by barbellapparel.com. Head over there. They are having a sale right now. It's buy two, get one free, and you can mix match items. The third item that you get, the lowest price one, is what is going to be free. That sale goes on until the 28th of April. They've got stretchy jeans, joggers, chinos, dress pants, polos, graphic t-shirts, workout shorts. They've got a running short coming soon too. So make sure you check that out and let them know that we sent you by at the checkout survey. You select One's Ready or you write us in. That way, we get credit because credit where credit's due, right? Also, if you guys aren't tracking, we do have the San Diego Operator Training Summit coming up in the 21st and 22nd of June, specifically La Jolla. But you'd fly into San Diego or drive in there. We've got a campsite all set up. We've got a pool established. So it's going to be a good event. So if you guys are interested, drop a comment and we'll get you hooked up and join the chat. All right, on to the joint news. If you're new here, this is the news that is curated by the Air Force Public Affairs Office and then sent out to all the commanders and all the chiefs throughout the Air Force. And then I take it and I kind of dumb some of it down, condense it because it's a massive document, and kind of give you some opinions or insider baseball if I happen to have any. So, all right, joint news. General Cain was sworn in as the Joint Chiefs Chairman, marking the first time an Air National Guardsman and recalled officer has held the role. In his message to the force, Cain emphasized trust in service members to make tough decisions and uphold integrity until his tenure ends September 2027. Dude, there were some 4-star generals that were either service chiefs or, MAGCOM commanders, major command commanders, that were upset that they got jumped by not only a 3-star, not only a National Guard dude, but also a retired dude. Like, if that's not sending a shot across your bow, I don't know what is. Next, Pacific Logistics shortfalls. Admiral Samuel Paparo highlighted that the U.S. Indo-Pacom's or Indo-Pacific Command's airlift and tanker fleet meet only 60% of logistical needs, relying on commercial transport to bridge the gap. He advocated for uncrewed airlift solutions to enhance surge capacity in contested environments. Yeah, uncrewed airlift. Like, what a novel concept. We will be getting uncrewed, collaborative combat aircraft. So we have that. We also have, our remotely piloted aircrafts as well. So it's only a matter of time before the airlift solution comes on board. Next, DEI, content purge confusion. The Pentagon's removal of diversity, equity, inclusion content from websites has caused confusion due to vague guidance and inconsistent application, with some content mistakenly archived by AI tools. Officials are working to incorrectly remove material, emphasizing that historical content is distinct from DEI. I've talked about this before, and it's been known, like we have proven that this has happened because some people have gotten in a lot of trouble for it already, but there has been malicious compliance. So yeah, there was some idiotic stuff that happened, just whether it's with AI tools or whether it's doing find and replace, but people were maliciously complying with the orders and just saying, oh yeah, okay, cool. You want me to get rid of this? Well, now I'm just going to get rid of everything because they knew that it would get highlighted, and they knew that that was not the true intent of the executive order. So anyway, commissary access for the DoD civilians. Defense Commissary Agency extended a pilot program allowing DoD civilians to shop at 16 commissaries through the end of the year, with 11% participation overall. High participation rates exceeding 30% at bases like Laughlin and Altus demonstrate strong demand for the benefit. Like, I'll tell you, I don't shop at the commissary. I never really have. I've gone there a couple times. Like, if I'm already on base and I need something, then maybe I'll go over there. Or, like, they've got good sandwiches over there. Really? They've got a sandwich shop. That's about it. Or overseas. Um, I hear that there are a lot of people that shop at the commissary, but I don't understand it unless if you're living on base, that makes sense to me. If you've got to commute 25 minutes from your home to base, and then you're going to come, drive in 25 minutes just to shop at the commissary, I wonder if that time that it took, 25 minutes there, 25 minutes back, plus the gas that you used, I wonder if that negates the so-called savings that you're receiving. Also, the commissary puts a surcharge on their sales as well. So, like, I don't know the numbers, admittedly, but I don't know if it is as good of a deal as people think it is. Anyway, Air Force news. Man, this is light news today. Air Force news, demolishing excess infrastructure. The Air Force plans to demolish 30% of its unneeded infrastructure to cut maintenance costs, as 30% of the facilities exceed current needs, according to the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Flosey. This divestment could yield a 10-to-1 return on investment, freeing funds to improve quality of life service. That's kind of, I would like to think that he has more accurate numbers than I do, right? So fully acknowledge that. I think it probably depends on what facility and what base you're looking at, because I can tell you here at Nellis Air Force Base, they're like, buildings and land and property is at a premium, and there's only so much of it, and everybody's clamoring to get their hands on whatever they can because they have so much mission and so many people that they're not able to that they're kind of busting at the seams. So I think this is probably dependent on where you're at, because this is definitely not accurate for Nellis Air Force Base or Hurlburt Field, or, well, maybe it is for Joint Base Lewis McChord, but definitely not for Mildenhall. So I don't know. That's just my thoughts. Next, Aviano, Italy, F-16s in Combat Archery UK. F-16s for Aviano Air Base practice live-fire air missile defense during the Combat Archery UK exercise, integrating laser-guided AGR-20 rockets to counter drones. Dudes, these things are amazing. These little rockets, laser-guided, super accurate. A jet can just rifle a whole bunch of them off, and man, they're awesome to watch. They're so cool. I'm so glad. Another name for them is APKWS if you want to Google it, or you can Google AGR-20 rockets. Anyway, holding an exercise in Europe saved millions and enhanced the airmen's readiness for real-world scenarios. Lucky, get to go in Europe and play around and shoot AGR-20s. All right, Space Force news. Like I said, it's a light news day. Tournier, reinstated as the SDA director. Derek Tournier will resume his role as the Space Development Agency director after a suspension tied to a Procurement Integrity Act violation during a bid process. The issue was resolved through civilian personnel processes, allowing Tournier to return to leading the SDA initiatives. I hadn't heard of that, so I don't know any details about that. Next, the Atlas system nears operational capacity. The Space Force's Advanced Tracking and Launch Analysis System, Atlas, is on track for initial operational capability by the end of the year, replacing a 40-year-old system despite delays from personnel and integration challenges. Realignment under Mission Delta II has addressed deficiencies to ensure progress. Good, I hope it works. That's a 40-year-old system. Jeez, that's crazy. Commercial quick reaction launch pilot. Space Force's Commercial Space Office is planning a pilot program by fall to enable on-demand launches using the Commercial Augmentation Space Reserve, supported by a recent $1.1 million contract. Exercises are underway to refine mission requirements and enhance rapid response capabilities. Man, $1.1 million is not very much money. I know it sounds like a lot of money, but it's really not in the grand scheme of things, especially when you start talking about government contracts. Next of interest, Defense Secretary IT memo contradictions. Defense Secretary memo to cut $4 billion in IT contracts lacks clarity and conflicts with prior guidance to reshape the civilian workforce, creating confusion. Critics argue the Pentagon should prioritize larger cost-saving measures like the F-35 reforms over smaller contracts and DE programs. Okay, here's my argument against that. Maybe, right? But if you look at the Dave Ramsey model, right, and if you're not familiar with that, Dave Ramsey has got millions of people out of debt. And if you don't know, his financial literacy is like unbelievable. So if you've never taught how to do it or you're just bad with money, go check them out. Like phenomenal. But their whole thought process is when you do a debt snowball, right? So you list your debts smallest to largest. I know mathematically it makes sense to do largest to smallest. You take care of the biggest one, but there's some psychology involved with that. So you list them smallest to largest and you take care of the smallest one. Throw everything you got in the smallest debt. Once that one's done, then you can take that same money that you were putting towards that debt and you hit the number 2. And once that one's done, you hit number 3 and it just kind of snowballs. So if you can make a whole bunch of little cuts and little cost savings, it'll add up to big ones. Just throwing that out there. Feel free to use that, Pete. That one's free. Capitalizing on DoD recapitalization, the defense ecosystem must ask. Oh boy, let me try that again. Capitalizing on DoD recapitalization. The defense ecosystem must act swiftly to leverage government efforts to modernize the Defense Department, emphasizing speed and agility to outpace adversaries. Industry should focus on rapid delivery and new partnerships to align with a whole-of-nation national security approach. Yeah, completely agree. And not just a whole-of-nation, but like all these private companies like Boeing, Lockheed, Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, that are freaking fleecing the government. All these other big corporations that are fleecing the government and inflating their contracts. All this money that you guys are enjoying and all this freedom you guys are enjoying, if we lose the next conflict, all that goes away anyway. So why not put America first and let's do what's right? So anyway, that is, like I said, this is a light day today. Check us out over at onesready.com. Buy a piece of merch. Leave a review. Leave a comment if you want to join us in San Diego. And we'll see you later. Thank you for being here.